Hello and welcome to a two-part toon theory where I'm discussing the Journal of the Two Sisters. If you haven't already, check out part 1. If you've seen that already, then let me just pop this intro sequence in here and start. Hello interwebs, I'm Eric and welcome to The Looney Turtle. Being the Journal of the Two Sisters, Celestia and Luna are the only ones who leave entries in this book, and it kind of implies that they were born Alicorns. Doesn't outright state it, so there is the possibility that they ascended at a younger age, but for the sake of this video, let's say that they were. How could they have reached this state? Well, maybe Celestia and Luna were born from regular ponies and taught customs that were carried down from generation to generation, leading to the Royal Canterlot voice being taught to them, as well as a few customs they need to know as Alicorns. Or perhaps there was an Alicorn race that Celestia and Luna were raised in, and it was wiped out or banished during Discord's reign. With Celestia and Luna in Equestria during this event, Discord is unable to banish them. Then his seeds don't go according to plan, leading to him turning to stone. But that's just two theories.
Headcanons would imply that Eric believes these are 100% fact.
Headcanons and theories, we're on fire today, Looney. As Alicorns, Celestia and Luna have a few special powers, like aging slower, getting cutie marks later in life, and somehow having the lungs for the Royal Canterlot voice. I wish that the show went into more detail about this, because right now I can only question how. Sure, this is the answer I'm looking for, but it's a lazy answer that leaves more questions than answers. What are the limitations? Why don't the princesses handle everything? It's useful in defeating Sombra, but useless against the changelings. What can and can't Alicorn magic do? Even though magic is an imaginary item in and of itself, there are still limits to its power so that the plot doesn't become too reliant on it. I might make a video on that later, so Alicorn magic. I should do this more often. So now let's go on to Starswirl the Bearded. You know, he's mentioned quite often in this book. We learn that he was a mad scientist with magic, creating spells left and right, and from what I understand, mastering time travel. Actually, regarding time travel, there's one line from this book that leaves me a little excited for the future of MLP. When I asked him if he knew anything about the pony with the last symbol of a star, he shrugged, clearly knowing something. I'm led to believe that Starswirl met Twilight before this point, or at the very least saw something about her. This can imply that we're going to see an episode about him in the future. Wait a second.
And poor Starswirl, having to wander Equestria for centuries, unable to interact, unable to be with the ponies he cared for.
This could actually work out pretty nicely. We first have an episode where Starswirl is in his prime, happy and willing to forgive. He ends up in the future at a point where Twilight has to help him get back. Then later in the season, Dr. Wolf's idea could manifest. A little later than he described, but it could be explained similar to how Tyrek took so long to make an appearance. That, or Dr. Wolf's idea first and then mine later. It could work both ways, honestly. Now let's move on to, for me at least, the most screwy thing in this book. The unicorns raising and lowering the sun and moon. This part comes up right after Starswirl fails to raise the sun and lower the moon, a task that takes at least 6 unicorns to do. Unicorns who volunteer for the job can only withstand the job for a short period of time before their magic is completely depleted. Forever. Do you understand the implications of that? The unicorns raise and lower the sun and moon at the cost of their magic. That's what their race is known for, so why do they do it?
Food?
What?
In Heartswarming Eve, they were given food, and in return they raised and lowered the sun and moon.
Oh, right. Can't the unicorns just cast a spell to keep it in orbit?
I don't know. We haven't seen a time where these celestial bodies weren't manipulated by ponies, so it can't really be said for sure.
And considering that all the things in this world need ponies' assistance, I guess it makes sense that their care extends to the sun and moon. But what about before that?
Equestria history hasn't explored that.
I'll have to get back to that. Now, I would just leave it at that because the unicorns have to handle the day and night, but then a mere 2 paragraphs later, Celestia explains that Alicorn magic is replenished every time they raise and lower the sun and moon. Need to fill a plot hole? Just fill it with Alicorn magic and you'll be fine! But regardless of this lazy reasoning, why are Alicorns not already in charge of day and night? Well, maybe it's because, as I said before, Celestia and Luna were born from regular ponies and Alicorns are a rarity in pony society. Again though, that's just a theory. A toon theory. Thanks for watching. So that's part 2 of my thoughts on the Journal of the Two Sisters. There is still a lot in this book, so I might make a video in the future, but for now, let me know what you guys think in the comments below and I'll see you next time. The end card took a bit longer than I'd like, so I made it into a completely different video. It's unlisted, so only people who stay after can see the link to it, but yeah. Click that, watch the video, and I hope you enjoy.